It is one of the greatest gifts you can give your children as a parent, and that is teaching them how to win with money. Rachel Cruze, financial expert and co-author of Smart Money, Smart Kids, is joining us today with more on this incredible step-by-step guide she co-wrote with her awesome, very famous dad, financial expert Dave Ramsey. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate it. Thanks.
I'm such a fan of everything that you and your dad teach. I think it's so important to teach our kids about money.
Well, it is, because it's a subject of life that a lot of people are stressed out about, and they have no idea what they're doing. And so if you can lay that foundation for your kids to stand on as adults, that's such a gift.
Why is it so important to start so early? I think a lot of parents don't even think they should even mention money lessons to their kids when they're toddlers, but you say they should.
Yeah, I mean, the earlier start, the better off your kids are going to be. They're going to be able to avoid so many money mistakes. They're going to learn a lot of lessons. And when they can do that under your roof, they'll make inexpensive mistakes. So when they go off on their own, they don't make big, devastating, expensive mistakes. Because
a lot of kids do that once they leave the nest.
Yes.
And it's so sad because it could have been prevented so easily by just reading this book right here. I have read quite a bit of the book, and you do talk about your childhood a lot, and you're very specific, which I appreciate. Things that your parents did that you plan on utilizing with your children. One thing that your dad was quoted saying, and I really like this, he says, parents are so focused on what their children want, they've lost perspective on what their children really need. And then he goes into the importance of hard work and earning your pay. Tell me about that a little bit.
Sure. Well, as Ramsey kids, we were never given an allowance growing up. We were always on commission.
I love that, by the way.
So you work, you get paid. You don't work, you don't get paid. But what you're doing is you're showing your kids the association between work and money. Money comes from work. Money does not come from mom and dad's back pocket.
Yeah, and especially once you're out of the house.
Absolutely.
You're going to have to work to pay the rent.
You know, I meet 24-year-olds, I meet 54-year-olds who still don't have this work money connection. So when you can instill that in your kids, again, that's just part of them going out and winning.
And they also feel it's so rewarding when they've actually worked and earned something.
You're giving them dignity to stand on their own. I mean, allowance is a little bit like saying you're deficit and we have to help you get along. But when you can tell your 5-year-old, no, you can help pick up some toys and we can reward you and pay you on that. Yes, I mean, even a 5-year-old can kind of, puff out their little chest.
I have a 5-year-old. I've seen that chest puff out. Yes, especially when they get the money after the work. That's big. So I want to have you get a little specific, because I love the book. You really do in detail, tell your readers exactly what they should and should not be doing with their kids. And you talk about jobs for younger kids, like when you first start talking and teaching them about money, and again, working for a commission, not an allowance. You list several things you can do with younger kids. Tell us about some of those.
Sure. Well, it's very age appropriate. So when they're 3 to 5, again, you're not sending them off to some boot camp to go work. I mean, this is very, very age appropriate. So things like picking up their toys, matching socks in the laundry, maybe helping set the table with supervision. Right. I mean, just, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 things. Again, you don't have a whole list of jobs for them to do, just a few little things, but again, age appropriate. So when a 4-year-old cleans up their room, they're not really cleaning their room, right? They're picking up maybe 4 or 5 toys.
But it's still a big deal.
It is a big deal, and you give them that high five, and they're the best room cleaner on the planet.
And do you give them the commission, the money right then? Do you wait? How does that work?
Yes, those young kids, 3 to 5, I say pay instantly. Just show them instantly money comes from work, and they can make that association.
Now, as they get a little bit older and they are a little more responsible, what are some other things that they can be doing, say 6 and up, 6 to, teenage years?
6 through 13 or so. Yeah, I mean, just increase their amount. So things like their room, they should be expected maybe to make their bed every day. Helping take out the trash, cleaning the dishes, doing yard work, cleaning the bathroom. I mean, all sorts of things they can do. But with this age group, there needs to be chores that they do just because they're part of the family.
That's what I was going to ask you. Where does that determine? Like, because some things they should be cleaning their room when they're 13 and not having to get paid for. It should just be something they do.
Sure. So as the parent, pick out some things that, they do part of the family. So for instance, us, the kitchen, we never got paid on the kitchen. So we were expected to set the table, take our dishes to the sink, clean the dishes for mom, because we love our mom. And so you want to teach your kids to kind of be a good citizen. You're going to serve in your community. You may not get rewarded for that, but that's what you want to do. So again, but you don't want to lose those teachable moments with paying them on some chore. So there needs to be 2 kinds of chores.
Got it. A lot of the things you ask your husband to do. Clean the dishes, pick up his socks, all of those kind of things. bugs. You also talk about savings, teaching the children how to start saving at an early age. How in the world do you do that? Because kids, I mean, mine, they get $1 and they immediately want to go and spend it.
Sure. Well, when they're, again, the 6 to 13 range, that's a good age to divide up their money in 3 areas: giving, saving, and spending. And you want to teach all 3. And so their savings little envelope, if you know, you can get 3 little envelopes, needs to go towards something that they're looking forward to. So a goal that they have. So whether it's a little Barbie or a Lego set, but something that they can reach within a month, possibly. So that, and when you're saving for things, you know, you're not teaching your kids just to put money away in a bank account. They're learning patience. They're learning delayed gratification. They're learning goal setting. There's so much wrapped up into this part of saving money.
That makes perfect sense. And then you did talk about giving back, the importance of teaching them that they do need to give back in many different ways.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's one thing with your money is what we teach. The very first thing to do is give, because you want to teach your kids to live with an open hand mentality, because I think giving is the antidote to selfishness. And selfishness is where entitlement comes in. And so you're really breaking that by teaching your kids to have a heart of gratitude and giving.
Oh, I just love this book, and you were just such a gem. We're not done with you yet. We're going to talk to you about credit cards. Yes. The two words, they get people in a lot of trouble. Yes. But we also are going to tell people where they can catch you today, because you have a book signing. They can meet you, and also they have a chance to win $2,000 to go towards a child's college fund. Someone is going to win that at your book signing. For more info, you can go to smartmoneysmartkids.com, and don't go anywhere. After the break, Rachel is teaching us how to teach our children about credit cards. Back, everyone. We are back again with Rachel Cruze, financial expert and co-author of Smart Money, Smart Kids. She wrote the book alongside her awesome dad. You may have heard of him, Dave Ramsey. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I want to talk about something that gets kids in a lot of trouble later on in their life, and that's credit cards. If they're not taught how dangerous they can be. I know how your dad feels about credit cards. Not a fan. How do you feel about them? I'm assuming the same way.
The same way, yeah, not a fan. And I don't have that opinion just because I'm Dave Ramsey's daughter. But when I look at studies and I look at my own life, you know, we had checking accounts when we turned 15 in our family, and we were in charge of taking control of that checking account using our debit card. And so when I went off on my own, honestly, I didn't see a reason to get a credit card, because I knew I have my checking account, I have my debit card, why get a credit card? And so that's why I kind of formed my opinion is it's not necessary. I can just spend my own money. I don't need the bank's money.
No, and that's a great mentality, and that's a wonderful lesson that you learned. But so many kids, they don't learn that lesson. And so they become teenagers, they are about to head to college, and then credit card companies are just bombarding them.
They're everywhere.
And they feel like it's free money.
Yes.
They don't realize they have to pay it back.
Yes, and they kind of feel like it's like a passage into adulthood to get your first credit card, you know? So it's like, okay, well, I'm going to be an adult now. I'm on my own. I'm going to get a credit card. And the average college student is graduating with close to $4,000 in credit card debt.
Just the credit card
Just credit cards. Yeah, that's not student loans. Yeah, student loans, $35,000. That's a whole other topic. But this idea that you're not teaching them responsibility when you're giving them a credit card. You're teaching them to depend on the bank. Teach them to be self-sufficient and depend on their own money by using a debit card or cash.
Right. So when should we start this whole credit card lesson? What's a good age where they can really understand and grasp it?
Sure. Well, I think, you know, as teenagers, they can start understanding borrowing money and what that looks like. And so, but little kids, you know, if you have a debit card, because I have a debit card and I'll use, but when you swipe your debit card, you know, as they're getting older, explain to them what a debit card is, because some don't even know the difference. You know, a debit card comes out of your bank account, a credit card, you're borrowing someone else's money. So have that conversation as well.
Okay, also, your dad always says, I mean, I hear him say this a lot, that it is so much harder to spend cash, actual cash. If you've got cash in one hand and a credit card in another hand, it's way easier to swipe the credit card. When you got to give up the cold hard cash,
it's
totally
hard.
different.
Yes, well, an exchange happens. You let go of that money to gain something else. Yeah, Carnegie Mellon published a study that said you actually, the brain cells, the pain parts of your brain light up when you spend with cash.
It's painful.
So you literally have physical pain when you pay with cash.
I believe it. It does hurt.
Yeah, so you spend 12 to 18% less when you're using cash versus a credit card.
That'll add up over a lifetime for sure. So we've made a little Credit Cards 101 graphic here, and this is just a few of the things you talk about when you're discussing credit cards. So you say the credit card is an emergency. What do you mean by that?
That's a myth. So it's not an emergency. Yeah. So some people say, I'm going to get a credit card just in case I have an emergency. But you want to teach your kids, no, when you have an emergency, use your own money. Have cash in the bank. So save up an emergency fund. So with teenagers and college students, that's around $500. Once you graduate college and get a job, you need $1,000 emergency funds. So credit cards should not be an emergency.
Never, never. They're never good under any circumstances.
That's correct.
You also, the I pay it off every month mentality. How do you feel about those people?
Sure. Well, statistically speaking, there's not a lot out there, when you look at the data. But some people say that, and, that's what they choose to do. But again, my perspective is you spend more when you spend with a credit card, and why play with snakes if you're going to get bit?
What about, yeah, I like that. What about college? Cards go to college.
Yes, yeah. Some, again, parents think, well, I'm going to teach my kids to be responsible, my teenagers, when they go off on college, that they can handle their money. But again, don't do that. It's dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Let them have a debit card in cash, and that's what they need.
Makes it, yeah, debit card, because again, you swipe the debit card, the money comes straight out.
Well,
no
debit card
fees, no penalties.
Yeah, and a debit card can do everything a credit card can do. I mean, you can rent a car. There's some places, you can, buy a shirt at the mall. I mean, whatever it is, buy online, anything you can do with a debit card.
Okay, another thing, once they're off and out of the nest and on their own, a lot of times they have the decision whether to own or to rent an apartment. What do you say to that for kids that are maybe 20-somethings?
Yeah, I would say renting is okay. Some people think renters go to hell or something like
no,
that, and that's
okay.
not the case. Yeah, you can.
We'd all be there.
That's right. That's right. You can rent. Renting is not bad. So, and especially when you first get married or something, rent for a year. If you move to a new city, rent for a year so you can figure out where you want to live. And if you know you're going to be there for a while, then go ahead and purchase a home.
And it gives you time to save up.
That's exactly right.
For the home you really
want. For down
want.
payment, all the above. Yes.
And when it comes to purchasing a vehicle, a car. A lot of kids buy a car they cannot afford because it's cool, because they can lease it, whatever. What do you have to say to those kids that are thinking about purchasing a car that don't have a lot of money right now?
Yes, I would say save up and pay cash. The average car payment is $492, and from age 20 to age 60, if you invested that once a month instead of paying a car payment, you'll have close to $5.2 million.
Wow.
So car payments are expensive.
Yes, they are.
And so as a teenager with their first car, as a parent, see if you can have them save up and either pay for the whole thing, or what my parents did is they matched whatever money we saved.
That's a good
Dad would call that his 401 Dave plan, the matching program. So do that so they can feel this idea of, okay, I can save up and I can pay for a car. Even if it's $1,000 car. It's not a pretty car,
but
at least you own it.
It's got 4 wheels, a steering wheel, and it goes.
Exactly.
It gets you where you need to, and it gives you freedom.
That's right.
Because really that's what they want.
They want that.
They want the freedom. Okay, so here's what's so cool is you can go and meet Rachel. She has a book signing happening today, all on her book, Smart Money, Smart Kids. It's happening tonight at 6 o'clock. Books a Million. It's at 5347 Loop 1604 North. And also, you have a chance to win $2,000 to go towards a child's college fund. Tell me about that.
Yeah, no purchase necessary, must be present to win.
Okay.
And $2,000 cash, and you're going to give that to a child that you love or children that you love to start help with college, because again, college, it's expensive. And so we want to give that good foundation for your kids and give away $2,000. And we'll give away coffee and I have jewelry, my fashion favorites. And
I've never heard of a book signing with jewelry
I know, so
giveaway.
It's fun. We have lots of fun stuff going
that's
on.
wonderful. So for more information, you can go to smartmoneysmartkids.com. Go and get the book today. This honestly will change your children's life.
Thank
you. It can make their life a lot better.